Welcome to the first session ever on the planet of Breaking In. And what this is a program where we hope to bring people from the world of media and entertainment who've actually been in that business for years, who've accomplished certain things, who've managed to figure out their own career and life paths in that business, or one part of that business, which we're soon going to talk about and how large and expansive it is, together with you folks who have professed that you have an interest in the world of media and entertainment.
So it was really interesting to come here and hear people with actual experience and to hear about the actual steps that you're going to take, to break into the industry.
Media has never played a larger role in people's lives than it does right now. Everything from this nasty little device with which I can watch a movie, listen to music, communicate with my friends, read a book, do whatever I want. The proliferation of media has shaped our culture to the point of where there's been an explosion in jobs.
You have family members ask you, what do you want to do when you get older? And you say, I'm going to be a firefighter, I'm going to be a police officer, or you had that cliche, I'm going to be a. But something that I love that we covered here was have your options open.
When I got out of journalism school, I studied to be a newspaper journalist. What I knew would allow me to work for any newspaper in this country and in many parts of the world. I could go sit on a copy desk like a session musician sitting in the day that I got out of school. And those rules had been the same for about 100 years. Today, you wouldn't even recognize that business. And I would have no idea it would be like if a race car driver from the 20s came back into a rocket ship.
Even in college, they give you general skills and knowledge to be able to then, go out into the real world and focus them and hone them down. But they don't really say much about this is what your life is probably going to be like in 5 years if you want to get into filmmaking.
Because things do change, and they change so quickly that what used to be very routinized paths to get into these businesses and to prepare for them really don't work as well anymore. Because by the time you're done preparing to become a journalist, or to become a filmmaker, or to work for a movie studio, or to go into sports marketing, that business could have changed completely. So that when you graduate, you may be very prepared in terms of the academics that make you a full and total package and have absolutely no knowledge of what those businesses are. It was always hard to do, and we used to hope that we'd accumulate that knowledge over the next 10 years from the day that you graduated.
For a lot of my time at college, I was trying to figure out what the dream was, what my pathway was going to be. And I think I got so focused on getting a job, that I wasn't really thinking about what I wanted to do.
The guys that I started working with that didn't learn what we're talking about today, about how to prepare yourself by understanding what these businesses are and the skills that go into being able to work in them, aren't working now. And they haven't been working for 10 or 20 years. 300,000 people worked in the newspaper business in 1965. There are less than 75,000 people today. On the other hand, social media didn't exist, and there are hundreds of thousands of people working in it. Like a coastline that erodes in one place and pops up someplace else, you have to know how to get from one stretch of the beach to the other if your part erodes, and that's beyond your control.
When Phyllis was talking about how she got into advertising, that really interested me because she just had a wide range of history of different places she's worked and different things she's worked on.
Phyllis was the editor of Disney Adventures and ended up on the sales side as one of the key sales executives for Time Warner, which is one of the world's biggest media companies.
If you're spontaneous and very creative, you may want to be one of those people who creates the next great intellectual property, right? So you need to start to think about who are you, considering that we spend so much of our time and our life working. It's awfully good to be in a comfortable environment where you feel you can be your true and genuine self.
There are no right answers and there are no wrong answers because we honestly believe that right and wrong pertains to who you are.
They wanted to know about us as much as we wanted to learn about them.
There's actually people out there who want to help younger people, especially in my generation.
You have, a faculty here of many diverse careers. You guys have this unbelievable opportunity on the breaks, at dinner, at the campfire tomorrow, to have one-on-one conversations, to ask questions, to follow up afterwards, to try to get somebody that you might want to learn more about their path, their expertise, advice.
I connected a little bit more with Joel, and I think that was because of his enthusiasm and his passion for his work. He doesn't hold back anything.
What you want to be in life? An author, filmmaker, Sports journalist, really.
She was writing her article already.
You were writing your article. Sports journalist, entrepreneur, filmmaker, NBA player? Yeah? Wow. I want to know you just in case it happens by any chance.
Joel, I worked with many years ago at Marvel, where he wrote some history on how to sell promotions and promote the Marvel characters that got turned into movies and television shows.
It requires me to get excited about the potential that you all have to learn more about what you're interested in. You think I did that when I was a kid? No, no one told me. So it was much more difficult for me. I was one of the lucky ones. Many of my friends weren't so lucky.
Everyone told me, you got to go out there and you got to network. Cool. Okay. How do I do that?
Alex was really good at helping me understand what networking is all about. You know, for years and years, people have been saying, you know, George, is so important to network, and I always said, yeah, okay, whatever, Mom.
There's this myth that in America, everyone pulls themselves up by their own bootstraps. Yeah, there is that entrepreneurial spirit, but guess what? Everyone had someone that helped them along the way, someone that they learned from, and they want to pass that on. They want to pay it forward. I do too.
Alex is just not too much older than you, and Alex is now working at Momentum, one of the world's largest ad agencies, running their events program for Open, which is the American Express Small Business Card, and for Cigna, which is a big deal. And he's going to tell you how he got there. Alex was actually a theater major.
He was a theater major, and he was doing basically like advertisement and marketing. And so he talked about how his path was a little bit different, and that was encouraging to me because you can major in something and then you can go into something else and you can still be a success story. It's not like make up your mind now.
And I was worried when I took a job at Wonder Warmers in sales that I was afraid that I would be stuck in sales for the rest of my life. And that's something that actually Jerry helped me a lot with, because he helped me figure out that I'm not a sales guy.
Bill Jemis, sitting right there, worked with Bill at Marvel as well. Bill started out at the NBA working for the legendary David Stern, who kind of invented sports marketing.
I didn't go to college to learn sports. I didn't go to college to learn entertainment. I learned to write really well, and I honed my mathematical skills really well. And that toolkit has stood me in good stead for the last 40 years.
And then Bill has gone on to run events at Madison Square Garden, run parts of Marvel, Fleer, Skybox, and now is engaged in helping Take-Two, one of the world's biggest game companies.
It's take a deep breath, learn your skill set, and then apply it when you get to the marketplace.
It's thinking about, like, what skills do I have? What skills do I want to have? And it's looking at the world and what it is and looking at where I'm deficient. You gotta remember, like, there's so much time in front of you. Like, for me, let's say I'm 28, let's say I have like 35, 40 years left of my work life, right? So I have more work life in front of me than I have entire life behind me.
It makes me feel like I have more choices in life, that I won't be stuck in the same spot for my entire life, that I will move around, and maybe I could end up doing both of my dreams, but you never know where life will take you.
And I think it's also been kind of a kick in the ass to go out there and hustle some more, think about what I really want to do, and start taking the first steps towards starting my career.
I better understand the process, the steps I need to take and how I need to develop myself, the small steps you can take, and then the general process as well.
So when you guys leave here tomorrow, I'm going to be really happy if some of you who've told me what you want to do say, wow, that's great, I have a more clear idea. I'm going to be just as happy if you say, from what I've heard, I don't want to do that, because if you're going to change your mind and redirect this enormous process, this enormous risk that you and your families take to prepare yourselves for a career, you want to figure that out as early as you can.